does hear of communist subversive activities appointed by Congress to investigate, Chairman Parnell Thomas opens the hearing.
Investigating alleged communist influence and infiltration in the moving picture industry must not be considered or interpreted as an attack on the industry itself.
The court is packed with fashionably dressed women as witness Robert Taylor takes the stand. In answer to a committee question on whether the Communist Party should be outlawed in America, Mr. Taylor replies,
I personally certainly do believe that the Communist Party should be outlawed. However, I'm not an expert on politics or of what the reaction would be. If I had my way about it, they'd all be sent back to Russia or some other unpleasant place.
Yes, it's me and I'm in love again.
It is the Savage Nation. Don't worry. This is not a documentary show, whatever. All right, this is Fats Domino. Yes, it's me and I'm in love again. Welcome to the Savage Nation. Here we go.
Need your loving and I need it bad.
All right, thanks, Fats. Give him some crawdaddies and we'll see him in a casino. Listen, here's the story. The reason I played that piece from Huac in 1947 is because yesterday I personally announced on the Savage Nation that it's time to bring back Huac, which is the House of Un-American Activities Committee. People today don't remember what the House of Un-American Activities was. Huac was an investigative committee of the U.S. House of Reps that looked into subversion within the U.S. government. It actually investigated those accused of being communists within the government. The committee investigated those accused of being communists within the U.S. media, especially in Hollywood. And by the way, to a large extent, UAC was successful in exposing communist infiltration. It even rooted out the communist operative and spy Alger Hiss. UAC revealed the extent of communist infiltration in the film industry. This committee served America, and it actually protected America from what was then the most serious threat to its national security, and that was the infiltration by communists into all branches of government and the media. The reason you have a distorted view of UAC is because of Hollywood and the media itself. After the 1950s, a generation of far leftists, fellow travelers of the Communist Party in academia and the media, all claimed in unison that the efforts of UAC and Joseph McCarthy in the Senate had been nothing more than a witch hunt. They claimed that it had destroyed people's lives who had nothing to do with communism. Remember all the movies about the innocent the innocent actors and directors in Hollywood who were picked on by the evil right-wingers and they jumped out of windows? It was all rubbish. Most of them were absolute communists and spies trying to produce pro-Soviet movies. How do I know this? What is my evidence that HUAC was on the right track? Because in the 1990s, the Venona transcripts of intelligence intercepts from the former Soviet Union were published, and these Soviet intelligence intercepts published in the 90s proved that most of the people that UAC had been investigating in the 50s had in fact been involved with communist groups, and many of these people had actively been spying on the U.S. for the Soviet Union. The old leftists in the U.S. media today and in academia still claim that UAC was just a bunch of right-wing nuts, but the truth is exactly the opposite. Now, the threat today of Soviet communism is largely gone, but other threats are even more dangerous. I am aiming this at the American people who elected Scott Brown, who understand that Obama's incompetent or worse. And I'm saying to you, we are in mortal danger. And I'm saying bring back UAC and investigate the government and the media and Hollywood as well.
I agree with you 1,000%, brother. We've got to do something.
Where is it written that we the people don't have the right to investigate the government for traitors, the media for traitors, and find them and root them out and get them out before we're all dead? Where is it written that we have no power to do that? I would say the Tea Parties are just the beginning. I would say that this entire town hall meeting stir-up, the anti-ACORN activity, these are all rumblings of the war that's coming. We cannot afford to sit on the sidelines and let these morons let us get killed. We can't. I think we should have a people's UAC. Who the hell needs Congress? They're a worthless bunch of lobbyists anyway. Why don't we have a people's UAC? Why don't we hold public hearings ourselves? Take it and run with it. Take it for free. If you're listening to me and you're one of the Tea Party people, go and create a public UAC. I'll run it on the show. I'll run it live like their national hearings. You put it together. You investigate every agency and you call them out. I know some people who can help you. I'll name them.
Savage. For all things news and talk radio, visit trncentral.com.
Talking about a topic that you never hear because the left has so seized the media and so seized the halls of academia that you never hear the truth of what's actually going on in your own country. This was triggered in me when I heard the head of the CIA yesterday say we are going to be attacked by al-Qaeda and he can do nothing about it. The FBI, we're going to be attacked by al-Qaeda, they can do nothing about it. Homeland Security, we're going to be attacked by al-Qaeda, she can do nothing about it. And I say to myself, then what in the hell are they spending the millions or billions of dollars on? If they can't stop an attack that they know is coming, what good are they? I can guarantee you that you listening to this show could stop such an attack. You unleash the American manpower in this country, you're never going to see al-Qaeda attacking in this country. Never. They'll be swinging from lampposts before they set off another underwear bomb. They'll be hanging from freeway overpasses before they get to scream and set off another bomb. But you leave it to those fat old men, those bureaucrats, and we're all going to be dead. It could be you, it could be your wife, it could be your children. This is coming from my heart. And if you disagree with me, that is perfectly well. But I will prove to you that you are wrong. Now, I want to go back to the Huac and how you've been brainwashed into thinking that they were a bunch of right-wing kooks and they were all wrong and they just picked on the poor sensitive artistes of Hollywood who were just simply trying to make a good movie. Okay? You may not remember this, but back in the late 40s, the committee held 9 days of hearings into alleged communist propaganda and influence in the Hollywood motion picture industry. And there were a number of Hollywood individuals who refused to testify. They named themselves the Hollywood 10 to make themselves, the drama queens of Hollywood. And these Hollywood 10 were blacklisted by the film industry. They wouldn't testify. They had contempt of Congress charges brought against them for refusal to answer some questions posed by committee members because they were guilty. And eventually more than 300 so-called artists, including directors, radio commentators, actors, and screenwriters, were boycotted by the studios. Some, like Charlie Chaplin, left the U.S. to find work. Others then wrote under pseudonyms or the names of colleagues. Okay? So what does that have to do with today? It has to do with the fact that we have an anti-American movement inside America. You don't have to look any further than, let's say, CNN. We know that virtually 8 out of 10 of the shows on MSNBC, if not 9 out of 10, are anti-American in every way. Sneering, sarcasm, every statement they make, anti-military, anti-police, anti-family, anti-church. Every day. Sneering every day. And you buy their products. You buy the GE light bulb the next day because you don't put your power where the money can be. In fact, you could put your power where the money is. You could stop buying GE's light bulbs until they close down MSNBC or turn it into an American station. But that's for a separate day. So as a result of the pressure of Huac, certain pro-American movies were made in the 50s. They produced anti-communist and anti-Soviet propaganda films, such as John Wayne's Big Jim McClane, guilty of treason. They produced movies such as The Red Menace, The Red Danube, I Married a Communist, Red Planet Mars, and I Was a Communist for the FBI. Why don't we see any pro-American movies now? Why is every movie that is produced pro-Al-Qaeda, sympathy for the Arab, sympathy for the Middle Easterner, but contempt for the boys who go out and get shot in the face and come home without an arm or a leg or come home in a body bag? Why do the vermin of Hollywood continue to undermine the war effort? Why do the vermin in the ACLU continue to undermine the intelligence agents who risk their lives to bring these vermin, these subhumans to trial? These subhumans, let me say it again until you finally get it through your head. You're telling me Khalid Sheikh Mohammed is a human being? You're telling me that this subhuman, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, deserves all the attention of the U.S. government, all the protections of the Constitution? This subhuman who masterminded the 9/11 attack, he deserves all the protections of the U.S. Constitution and every crackpot anti-American vermin from NYU and Columbia and Harvard Law. All of these law clinic people, they line up foaming at the mouth to defend these subhumans. And what do they do to soldiers like Lieutenant Behena or Colonel Chasani, who risked their lives in Iraq or Afghanistan? They give them military trials.